Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Ward. I'm the Heritage Officer with Cavan County Council. I'm delighted to be here today at Castlerahan Church and Graveyard. We're also very fortunate to receive Creative Ireland funding for Castlerahan. We're absolutely delighted to have received Community Monuments funding through the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage. Since 2017, the local group here have been looking to secure funding to undertake consolidation works and urgent repairs to the ruins of this church. I think we truly have connected people, their heritage, their well-being and their creativity through this project, and we're grateful to Creative Ireland for the opportunity to undertake this work.
My name is Paddy O'Donovan. I'm an archaeologist with the National Monument Service. We recorded this church back in the 1980s, and we discovered subsequently that it was actually a hospital church, and the church was in a very poor state of repair, and it's great to see the work being undertaken.
My name is Martin Reid. I work for the National Monument Service, and we are similarly delighted to be able to support this project at Castlerahan Church and Graveyard.
Hello and welcome to the ancient church and graveyard here in Castlerahan. This has been a very important site, gone back for several hundred years. O'Rahilly's still ruled in the Kingdom of Breffni. They built a castle on this site, on the hill overlooking the site where the church and graveyard now stand. In the 15th and early 16th century, before the Reformation, each parish had a hospital that doubled as a church. Father Brian McElhenney was appointed curate in Castlerahan, and he took on the task of getting the community to clean up the graveyard, persuading the community to work and clean up the graveyard. Castlerahan Heritage Group were formed to carry on the work and to ensure that it stayed in good condition. The Heritage Group had a look at the work that needed to be done to preserve the church and to repair the boundary wall and to make it stock-proof. 214 graves and inscriptions in all catalogued in that report, dating from the earliest was 1708 up to the last burial that was in the graveyard here was in 1974. We've also obtained funding to carry out, one of the graves had a metal surround, an iron surround on the grave that had completely rusted away and was deteriorating. And we've also received funding again thanks to the Heritage Council.
My name is Jamie Gargan. I'm one of the stonemasons for Rocks Road Stone Company. It's great to get the chance to work on an old project like this. This is the type of work we're doing. As you can see, we're using all the old line mortar, and every day we come across something different. We found an old fireplace here, and at the moment we're just trying to stabilise the walls. There's nothing left of any of the framework, but you can see the holes in the walls where the roof timbers used to be and carrying in across. But all we have is the outline of the windows and very little of the stonework left. So a lot of it is guesswork.
So this is an old graveyard here at Castlerahan. It was closed to burials in 1954, and it has been an important local burial ground since at least the medieval times. It remains a really important place in the local community, and it's fantastic to see all the work and research being done here this year. The church here, which is ruined, has been stabilised this year with help from a grant from the Community Monuments Fund. It's relatively modern, it's probably 18th century, and it's on the first edition of the Ordnance Survey map, which dates to 1837. During the survey, notes were taken, and in the name book of that period, the church here is described as a Protestant church which will accommodate 250 people. So it was still in use.
This is the only remaining corner that's left on the church. All the other cornerstones are missing. They're taken away or whatever. So this is what they call a field stone. It's not quarried, it was just gathered off the land years ago. They're very hard to get and to make and to come by nowadays. So we're going to have to replace these and find them from a similar building that's derelict and replace all the other corners on the church.
My name is Modestas Juškauskas. I am owner of the Bronze and Iron Art Studio, and I was involved in the restoration work for a cemetery from County Council. And this is, I like to show how it's made, what has to be done, and how it's going, and of course how hard it is to do it. So normally, as you're getting restoration, I like to do, you assemble all railings in parts, because because a lot of parts has to be reforged and recast, missing pieces, which is wearing by the time. It's so what I'm doing it's getting. This is what time can do to the wrought iron, or like those parts is from cast iron, and mainly like social parts is not repairable. You have to recast them, new ones. So I do make patterns, like social things, and do sand casting. And the same wrought iron bars you're getting now of course they are reforged, and it looks completely different as there was, as I took it away. There was completely in bits. It's rotten it from here to here and missing it parts. Then you're doing it back, reforging to get in the shape. And what I like to do, because it's a history, I like to leave it as much as possible original wrought iron in the jobs what I'm doing it. That way it's only probably what is only cast iron parts what I'm recasting again, but even social parts like those ones, normally this has to be recast, but it can be rebuilt as well. For rebuilding, I'm using it bronze, and you're rebuilding it in the same shape again. It's just this not ready yet. And same like in this one, it's cracks in here. What happens when it goes round bar, same this one goes inside. And the old masters was filling it with the lead. And by the time starts to get in water in, when it's water inside on the winter time and it freezes, it makes the ice, what this makes the cracks in the, because it splits, it expands, it splits the parts. But this can be easy fix it as well with the bronze, or sometimes masters using it like cast iron welding rods. But for the bronze, it's non-ferrous metals. It doesn't react with another metals. It's very friendly. Then for me, it's very much easier to do with the bronze, because I can just doing it like filling it. You're doing it cuts in, and just nicely thick welding it with the bronze, and it's in there again. It's original part. What is main thing? It's still original part, because this is even wasn't painting it or anything. Now we're using it for our jobs. We're using it zinc primer. It's go 2 coats, zinc primer and top coat paint, 2 coats. Then it's paints, which is who is gonna hold this all the parts in the shape for another, probably. I'm not gonna be here anymore. For the next restoration, it's definitely not me who gonna restore next time. Then it's gonna be in there for long time again.
Castlerahan. I think it began with the sycamore tree, not centred but sheltering, its rump halfway against the dike, leaves spilling over small blunt stones, autumn-coloured stars. Hospital and church, this spread gave and took, cared for both body and soul, those left to ponder in the long-gone stretch of a castle's reach. Discarded, the moat sank, rounded the mound and disappeared to the caves, tales of Danish gold and flat fieldstones, clan kings who named the land and the church cobbled together with spit and lime. We are the keepers of these little parcels of time, grow up from the ground like corn husks, chained almost to the one sphere of place, cells of a specific ask. Even the graves stay in line, face east, and in time, lilt towards the sycamore, rallying and quietly proud.